Hello. Welcome to another great video from 10x Investor Education. Today's video is about train acquisition, ticker symbol TRNE, aka desktop metal, which is reverse merging with, and is going to trade as DM. Okay, so before going further, this is purely my own research and doing it for entertainment. This is not my advice to buy stock, and research and trade at your own risk, and this is my opinion. So, and I also describe my position in each stock. I show how much I bought and what I want to do next move. Okay, so before going any further into the video, please click the like button and subscribe at the bottom of the video so that you won't miss the next video on time before any stock breaks out. Okay, so train acquisition is reverse merging with desktop metal hopefully next week. Not guaranteed, but that's as per the calendar. So this is a pre-IPO breakout. Okay, so I was ready to create this video this weekend, hoping that move something like 20% and 10%. I wasn't expecting last week. I was really expecting next week. But I think it's a pure FOMO, fear of missing out, given how Luminar and QuantumScape did post-merger. I think people don't want to wait post-merger. They just want to get in early, get the stock moving. Okay, but do not buy these SPACs at the peak prices after post-merger, after a couple of days. So we have seen with Hyliion and a lot of other companies, they go and then after a lot of investors sell out after a couple of days of merger, and if the news is not encouraging, and then they go down by 50%. So make sure when you trade these SPACs, come up with a strategy how you want to exit out of the stock, whether you want to sell after merger or you want to hold it for a long term until first quarter, or want to sell covered calls. So come up with a strategy before making any big purchases into the SPACs. Okay, so if you bought the SPAC at $10 or $11, which is fine, but if you're buying at $20, $30, you have to be really careful. Okay, so let's get into the rest of the details into the company. So as you can see here, that's how the bump on last Friday. Okay, so what is and who is Desktop Metal? Okay, this is a 3D printing company based in Boston, and based on research and other things, this could be the top 3D printing company next 4 to 5 years. Could be, not sure. Okay, we will see based on how they do next quarter. So they are ready to sell. They are not selling heavily right now, but they're ready to sell Additive 2.0 metal printing systems, anywhere ranging from 150K to 400K price range, and they say they have significant number of pre-orders. Okay, so we'll go here, but before that, let's look at the competition. Who is the closest competitor? There are a ton of them. Okay, but Desktop Metal claims they're all at additive manufacturing 2.0. They are the only first one at the latest version, and rest of the industry is at 1.0. So they claim it they are 2.0 next version of metal printing, whereas rest of the industry is 1.0. So kind of not sure how they are saying, but let's go into details. Let's look into one of the competitor based in US is XONE, is valued at $220 million. And this is the, if you don't know, ARK has a separate ETF for 3D printing stocks with ticker symbol PRNT, and ARK has invested close to $17 million worth of stock. So out of 220 million, ARK owns 17 million, and that is the highest holdings in the ETF XONE. So, but if you don't know, there is another ETF, ARKQ, which owns $27 million worth of stock in Nano Dimension. So if you do not know what is Nano Dimension, please look at my video a month back. I invested into Nano Dimension also heavily based on what ARK doing there. 1 month return on Nano Dimension is 140%. even after 2 secondary offerings and diluting shareholders, ARK is still buying the stock almost daily. You can look at the data at Lucid Tracking. So similar to XONE, another company in metal printing, very mature company in metal printing, which boasted very high revenues, is German-based company Trumpf, and they boasted, but they have not shown that much results. Okay, some background. So let's get into some of the news that's happening with the merger about Desktop Metal. Okay, so as you can see here, BMW's group additive manufacturing team works closely together with Desktop Metal to accelerate market adoption. So like BMW, there are a lot of auto companies which buy these 3D printing machines from lot of manufacturers, and they use it for prototyping or production systems. Okay, so you probably know Chamath Palihapitiya. Basically, he is behind lot of successful SPAC IPOs, including IPOB, which is reverse merging with Open Door, and also Space Virgin Galactic, which trading at 200% above the price range. Okay, so this is when the news came out with Desktop Metal that train acquisition merging. He's also one of the investor into this company, into the pipe money. Chamath explained on a tweet on Monday why he is investing into 3D printing company Desktop Metal. The VC said that manufacturing is entering 2.0. Okay, so basically a lot of tools and machinery, big tools machinery can be replaced by printers. You must see this. These are like very commercial printers which can print 100 kgs of metal in very short time. Okay, said Desktop Metal is the leader in this new era of manufacturing and already has a distribution deals in over 60 countries. Okay, so a lot of these VCs, they hype a lot when during beginning of the merger, when they announce the merger. So you have to be really careful what they are talking and what their practicality is. Okay, so because I have known lot of 3D companies, and for last 10-15 years they went through lot of ups and downs. What does it mean? They do 1 quarter, 2 quarters good, and they go down another quarter, they do next quarter good. So because it's too much competition, too many players, and not much demand, that's the main reason. Okay, so let's look into the Desktop Metal company itself. Okay, world-class management team and investors. So if you look at it, their team includes Eli Sachs, who invented the paradigm shifting binder jetting process in 1988, and also single pass inkjet into 2D printing system. Also, they hold hundreds of patents and high number of PhDs and professorships. Exactly the team that would like to assemble to make a better metal 3D printer. So basically what this article is saying is they have the best tech guys who can come up with the best metal 3D printing. There's no doubt the best people from MIT, best engineering people, best PhDs, they have it, and they come up with the best 3D printing. But does it mean they can make their revenues they are claiming? Let us see. Okay, so this is from ARK, one of the newsletters recently about Desktop Metal. Okay, this is what they think. Desktop Metal 3D printing system startup is going public through reverse merger with train acquisition. Early deal terms suggest they'll be valued at $1.8 billion, roughly 90 times this year's sales. For comparison, currently the public market valuing XONE, a 3D printing company, provides similar technology roughly at 156 million, or 3 times the analyst 2020 sales. So basically what they are saying is XONE is trading at 3 times, whereas Desktop Metal is trading at 90 times. That is based on Desktop Metal train acquisition price of $10. So if train goes to $20 or $30, you can say this is $4 or $6 billion, which is close to 250 to 300 times the years of sales. But this year's sales is nothing, which is like $20 million. They'll going to go a lot next couple of years. We will look into investor presentation. Okay, so So what I'm saying is don't get into this sales estimates and PE, forward PE times right now. Okay, so let's get into some details and investor presentation on desktop metal. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is how the desktop metal printers look, warehouses look. So they have a real product, real machinery, real software that is ready to sell on large scale. And this is the acquisition from train acquisition. We'll get into investor presentation and benefits of 3D printing. So I was saying before about ARK 3D printing ETF. This is what ARK 3D printing ETF is. And as you can see here, the largest holdings in these ETFs are XONE at almost 8%, Materialize and Proto Labs. So this has been trading close to 40% return last 1 year. So this is not as hot as other ETFs of ARK, but still you'll get an idea what are the companies in 3D printing, including HP. So let's look into XONE shares. So this is one of the competitor XONE that ARK is talking about. So as you can see, their revenue did not go like 100 times. The annual growth rate is only 4%. So 40, 50, 2018, 60 million and 60 million are close to right now, probably 60, 65 million next year. Okay. So, but still the rank is not okay and momentum is decently fine. So my prediction is if desktop metal is going to go up, even this one is going to go a little bit up just with the sector and the momentum of desktop metal. Okay, so let's get into this. Is typically how 3D printing manufacturing looks like. Okay, so this is how actual 3D printing system machine looks. You have to cut the metal as per the hardware and software spec and literally make the metal parts. You'll get the idea. So going back to investor presentation, this is what I want to show quickly before going to the actual presentation itself, the revenue projections. This is a 40-page presentation. I just want to go through quickly. So revenue is 26 million 2019, 2020 around 25 million, and 21 expected is 77, 165, 23 is 328, and 24 is 585 million, and then 25 is 940 million. So they expect to be profitable in 2023. This is very bullish and hyper inflated numbers, but I cannot comment. This is what the media thinks. I'll show you in details. Okay, let's get into investor presentation. What is the fundamental, how people are. Okay, so he is from a battery company, A123 Systems. I really like CEO. Before buying any company, I look into CEO, who is CEO, who is the CFO, and then who is the founders of the company. So this is train acquisition company. They're getting $300 million cash from the SPAC, and then $270 million from the PIPE investment. Okay, so total valued at $1.8 billion, assuming the train price is $10. So ownership is 14% SPAC, 74% existing shareholders, and 11% PIPE investors. Okay, so this is what their projections is $10 billion company in next couple of years. Okay, so they say world-class management and then large expanding market. So I totally agree. This is going to grow to close to 100 around $50 billion. But and also they have 60 plus transactions across multiple countries. And then founding team includes 4 MIT professors, board of directors, experienced ones. Okay, so and also they have 120 patents issued or pending in 3D printing technology. So distribution in 60 countries. Let's look into how they are projecting the additive manufacturing from 10 to $12 billion now to $140 billion by 2030. Okay, so let's get into some of the details of the management team. This is the 4 MIT professors they are talking about, and also the founders, as I was telling, from A123 Systems, which is a really successful battery company. So let's get into, they are from different companies. The founders, the board of directors, from Google to Ford to a lot of other good companies. Okay, so this is how their production systems looks like. If you are manufacturing metal products, lot of products in production, then you are buying this system anywhere between 200 to 400 price range. And if you are just prototyping and testing out, then you'll buy one of these systems. So let's get into what they're talking about, how they manufacture and how their software is. Okay, the distribution network in 60 countries. And after all this, and obviously they are claiming that they have some of the existing customers are all these auto companies, including Nissan, GM, Volkswagen. So, and then blue chip customers are this. So if you look at all these things, I don't know what they are buying, but they sold only 4 systems so far. So March 20th is when they sold 4 systems. So they have not sold a lot of these high expensive systems. I'm thinking these companies, they are buying into small systems, couple of grand, and that's how they're claiming the revenue is $26 million for last year. Okay, so this is overview of growth, company, customer base. Okay, so what what are people, this is an article from 3dprinting.com, what are people saying, is it really true what they're claiming is. Okay, so since 2017 desktop metal went through a lot of changes. So one thing they are saying is there is no feasible story for a desktop metal to grow from $26 million to $1 billion company 2025. Okay, so let us see if it's impossible, because they are saying there's another company based in Germany, very similar product, and they claimed, it's called Trump. They claimed $500 million revenue, but only this year they're making $70 million revenue. Okay, so that's why I said a lot of these investor presentation numbers are hyperinflated. So if you're looking at numbers or momentum, it's up to you. So desktop metal, especially the company's lengthy technology development process. Okay, so these missions are very complicated and high maintenance. So it's not easy to just say just buy and get out. Okay, so while desktop metal has been hugely successful in fundraising, it still managed to only generate $26 million revenue in 2019, about 2 years after it officially unveiled your core offering. So what they're saying is after delivering their core product, they only made few sales and their revenue is on 26 million last year. Okay, so that's what they are thinking and they are saying. Okay, so this is the top metal 3D printing companies in the world. As you know, sticker symbol DDD, it went through ups and downs for the last couple of years. And similarly, there are a lot of companies, including GE, two top desktop metal systems, and also from even Trump, which I showed you briefly. So this company, German-based engineering company, which has very similar systems to them. So it is not an unique manufacturer in my view, as a lot of people claiming. So there are a lot of competition out there. So we have to see next couple of years how they can sell, how many products they can sell. Okay, so how do you trade? Momentum or valuation? So keep in mind that keep a watch on X1 price also. It can go up as the desktop metal price goes up. Okay, the valuation of desktop metal is $1.8 billion when train stock is $10. Now train stock being at $19, potentially train stock going to $20 or $25 range with the merger, which means the valuation of desktop metal could be close to $4 billion. So very very high. Whereas the one of the competitor is at trading at 3 times the revenue, $60 million revenue with $200 million market cap. So I cannot argue with Chamath or ARK. Okay, but ARK is saying overinflated. Chamath is saying they're the top leaders. Okay, so I'm not going to go because what valuation they are at. So I went wrong with valuations on several of these companies and missed a boat on a lot of companies. So right now I'll go with the momentum. I like 3D printing ETF print, which it went up only 40% for the year. So as long as I think ARK might buy into desktop metal soon, if I'm not wrong. They might wait and they might sell off existing companies and they might get into desktop metal also. We will see how it goes. So I invested in train acquisition around $12 just a week before. So assuming that it will go post merger, go up a little bit. Nowhere expecting this price bump. So I'll probably sell covered calls after the merger when it hits the peak price. Okay. So after IPO, analysts might downgrade based on the valuation, sector valuation. That's what I'm expecting. But if they have a great first quarter, the stock might be in the right direction. So one thing in this channel is I do not recommend buying any stock without me owning the stock personally for a while and a deep understanding of the sector as well as stock. So as I said before, I'll show my transactions and show what my thing. So this is what my goal and direction is. So last week I got around $12 and then with a decent profit of 60% in a week. So I will wait for the merger and see how thing goes. Okay, so I might even protect with selling puts also on this one. So this is what my stock prediction and the analysis on desktop metal. Please click on the subscribe button before going away from this video and get ready for another exciting next video. See you later.